Hi everybody, and welcome to your lesson on cell organelles. Now this is going to be the doozy, okay? So hang with me, and if you need to push pause at any moment so you can reread what's on the screen or take some notes, feel free to do so, okay? So remember we said that organelles are tiny little things that live within each cell, okay? So just like we have organs in our body that help us to survive, they each have a different job to do. Our heart, beats and pumps the blood throughout our body. Our lungs allow us to breathe. We have all of these organs in our body that allow us to survive and thrive. And inside a cell, there's organelles that help the cell survive and thrive, okay? So organelles and the chemical reactions that occur in them allow the cell to meet the challenges of life. So you are a multicellular eukaryotic organism, meaning every cell that you have in your body, you have many cells because you're multicellular, and every one of those has a nucleus in it, okay? So just as your brain, your heart, your lungs keep you alive, your individual cells have organelles in them that help keep them alive, okay? So, the challenges of life, we've got to get energy, we've got to reproduce, we've got to maintain our structure, and all of the organelles within the cell help it do just that, okay? So we'll start by talking about the nucleus. The nucleus holds the genetic information of the cell. This is your DNA. So this information is kind of like a set of instructions that tells the rest of the cell what it's supposed to do. And in this way, the nucleus kind of controls the activities of the cell. Maybe you might think of it like the brain of the cell. Okay? The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria are the organelles that kind of function like batteries in the eukaryotic cell, and they're going to convert the energy that it gets from food, or if it's a plant, the energy that it gets in the process of photosynthesis is going to convert that into energy that the cell can actually use, called ATP. Okay, so it has to be a very specific type of glucose, which is called ATP, and that is what gets the cell energy. Okay, this process is called cellular respiration, and it is essential for a cell's survival and growth. So then we've got the organelles called ribosomes, okay? And these are large complexes of like protein and RNA, and they are responsible for protein synthesis in the eukaryotic cells. They're going to be making that protein. They're also known as like the protein factories of the cell because, they make the protein. Okay. Then we've got the chloroplasts. Now remember, these are specific to plant cells, okay? And they aid in the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis happens inside the chloroplast, okay? And in a future lesson, we're going to talk all about that. So you'll get kind of way more information as we dive into that lesson in just a little bit. But for now, all you need to know is that photosynthesis happens in the chloroplast, and you already know that photosynthesis is how a plant gets its energy, and photosynthesis happens within the chloroplast. Next, we've got cell walls, okay? Now, again, these are present in plants, okay? So there's going to be, and then some prokaryotes would have a cell wall as well, but today we're just focusing on the eukaryotic organisms, and the plants are going to have these, and it's going to help give them their structure. So every cell is going to have a cell membrane that's around it, okay? But in plants, they've got not only a cell membrane, but in addition to that, they've got a cell wall that really helps build its structure, okay? Now we've got the cell membrane that I just mentioned. It's also known as the plasma membrane, okay? And it's going to surround the entire cell, and it's going to separate the inside of the cell from the outside environment, okay? So it's selectively permeable. Now permeable means that like water and other things can travel through it, meaning because it's selectively permeable, this means that it'll allow some things to pass through, but not others, okay? And this is going to help the cell transport materials that it needs for survival. Then we've got the cytoplasm. Now the cytoplasm contains all of the cell's organelles, including the nucleus, the endoplasmic reticulum, and the mitochondria. It's made up of water, salts, proteins, and it is kind of what holds the different organelles, okay? Then we've got vacuoles. Now both plants and animals have vacuoles. And this is the water storage structure of the cell, okay? Now, vacuoles are the largest compartment in a plant cell, and that means that they're way bigger than they are in animal cells, okay? And this is because plants don't have a circulatory system or an excretory system, so they have to store their water in the vacuoles, okay? They don't have a digestive system, excretory system to get rid of their waste, so all of this water builds up within their vacuole. And it also helps the plant remain upright. And we'll talk about this more in a future lesson as well. But vacuoles are smaller in animal cells. They don't have to be big like they are in plants, okay? And they are used to temporarily hold nutrients. Now, one big difference that I haven't mentioned yet is that in plant cells, they've got one big vacuole, and animal cells, they have lots of smaller vacuoles. All right, and then we've got Golgi bodies, which is also called the Golgi complex or the Golgi apparatus, and it is located in the cytoplasm in that kind of jelly structure that holds a lot of organelles. And it is near the nucleus, kind of near the endoplasmic reticulum. And the Golgi apparatus is made up of like stacked membranes, okay? And it plays a crucial role in processing, modifying, and packaging cellular products before they're transported out to their different locations. So kind of think of this as like a packing plant, okay? Packing and shipping happen right here in the Golgi body. All right, and then we've got the endoplasmic reticulum, okay? This is an organelle that's found in the cytoplasm of most eukaryotic cells, and there's two types. There's the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and those have ribosomes on it, and then you've got the smooth endoplasmic reticulum without the ribosomes, okay? And we call it ER, is used for storing calcium. And it will synthesize lipids and steroids. It'll metabolize those carbohydrates, okay? It will help in transporting proteins and carbohydrates to the other organs, and it will produce a transmembrane proteins and lipids for the cell membrane and other cell components. So in this chart, you see the 10 organelles that I need you to know. We've got cell wall, chloroplasts, cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm, the vacuole, mitochondria, ribosomes, the Golgi bodies, and the endoplasmic reticulum, okay? Now, I know this was a lot, so if you needed to pause or go back and review, reach out, please feel free to do so. You know I'm always happy to help.